The Ben 10 reboot has 5 seasons, and in those 5 seasons, 10-year-old Ben Tennyson, wielder of the Omnitrix, has turned into many aliens, and you are going to see all of them now. Rada, my brothers and sisters, by God. This is your brother in Christ, Abstract Schnitzel, here with another video. And in this video, you're going to see every Ben 10 transformation by Ben. So here we go. Cannonbolt. He's big, he's bally, and he's ballin'. Cannonbolt has yellow armor on his body that is durable enough to deflect lasers and hit hard surfaces, and is also resistant to acids and lava. Cannonbolt can curl into a ball to cover himself in this yellow armor, and can roll like a ball when curled up to slap into and run over his targets. In ball form, Cannonbolt can ricochet and bounce off surfaces with the help of his enhanced speed, and can even increase his agility by quickly opening up his ball form when airborne, making him invulnerable. He can even roll fast enough to create vortexes and tornadoes. Cannonbolt has fur on his body that allows him to know where he's going in ball form, and his excellent hearing also helps him perceive his surroundings. He's also heavy and strong, with good reflexes and enhanced dexterity, but also has good balance to allow him to curl and uncurl his body. Even though Cannonbolt's heavy, he's able to roll on water. However, as fast as Cannonbolt is in ball form, he has trouble stopping or changing direction when rolling at high speeds. Cannonbolt's top heaviness also makes him unbalanced and clumsy when he's uncurled, and he can't stand on things that are unstable due to his heavy weight, nor can he fit in tight spaces with his big size. And although Cannonbolt is strong, fast, and durable in ball form, his abilities aren't limitless, so someone strong enough can still beat him in a fight. Despite Cannonbolt's ability to roll on water, he can't roll on sand or slippery surfaces. Overflow. He's like the world's most powerful water gun. Using the tanks on his forearms, Overflow can spray pressurized water blasts, create water blades, propel himself with water propulsion to fly, manipulate water into other states of matter like gas and ice, and absorb water. He can also breathe underwater and use his powers underwater to swim. His water blasts are so powerful that he can even fire his pressurized water blasts underwater, and can also generate underwater vortexes. Even without his water powers, he's still an impressive alien with an enhanced exoskeleton that gives him very high durability both in and out of water, enhanced strength, enhanced endurance, and enhanced reflexes. However, since water conducts electricity, Overflow can electrocute himself when shooting water at an electrical device. He can also accidentally create floods when firing water in tighter spaces, and he's also vulnerable to magic. And although Overflow's durability and stamina are very high, they still have a limit, so Overflow isn't indestructible. Heatblast. He can generate and manipulate heat and fire from his body, and usually uses his hands to do this. He can make fireballs, throw flaming punches, breathe fire, fly using fire propulsion, shoot a calorific laser with his 2 hands, and surf on a fireboard. Since he's practically made of fire, he is immune to both heat and the cold, but water can put out his flames though. Heatblast can still survive and use his powers with low intensity underwater. The light and heat of the molten core in Heatblast's body are also more intense than Heatblast's normal fire. His fire can also solidify surfaces. Other powers Heatblast possesses include enhanced strength, quick reflexes, enhanced durability, and enhanced jumping. But as hot as Heatblast is, he can lose his fire if he gets exhausted. His flames also make him dangerous, able to set things on fire if he isn't careful. His strength and durability are also limited, despite being greatly enhanced. XLR8. This speedy Velociraptor alien can run up to 888 miles per hour, so fast that he makes time gradually slow down around him. His enhanced speed also gives him quick reflexes and agility, as well as the ability to run on walls and water and create tornadoes and vortexes strong enough to lift the rust bucket. He's also got enhanced strength and durability, and quick thinking. XLR8's speed makes it possible to go back in time if the Omnitrix is hit by external energy. Imagine how fast he'll be when he gets older. But that's not all. He's completely frictionless, has enhanced jumping, and has a prehensile tail. But as awesome as XLR8 is, he still has weaknesses. His speed doesn't work on all surfaces, so it's hard for him to control his speed on surfaces that he can't run on. His tail can also be used against him, and he's vulnerable to Poison Oak. And even though he's fast, he does still have to strain at times, and he also has a limit to his durability. Additionally, since XLR8 does everything quickly, including thinking, he also gets bored quickly, which can be pretty brutal. And when he doesn't have a visor on, which is pretty much all the time, his eyes are vulnerable. XLR8 is also vulnerable to his own tornadoes and vortexes, which does show how strong they are. I guess slow and steady does win the race sometimes. Okay, who am I kidding? No, it doesn't. Forearms. Forearms is a big, red, four-armed, muscular bodybuilder with four-fingered hands and 4 eyes. Okay, he's not a bodybuilder, but he might as well be one, because he's got crazy strength, able to lift things several times his own weight, punch through tough objects with ease, and can send a celestial sapien flying with a single punch. Forearms is so strong that his claps and ground punches can generate shockwaves. He can pretty much use anything as a weapon thanks to his enhanced strength of his, and his thick, durable skin gives him good durability too, in turn giving him heat resistance. He doesn't have lightning resistance though. His strength extends to his legs, allowing him to jump very high. Forearms' extra arms come in handy, allowing him to brachiate, climb walls, and perform aerobics. He can even wrestle proficiently. However, there are some problems that forearms can cause. His big body and bulk muscles make him slower and more clumsy than most of his opponents, as well as an easier target. It also makes him more vulnerable to high speeds and slippery surfaces. And even though he's super strong and durable, Forearms has a strength limit and a durability limit. He's also still vulnerable to things that have more strength than he does, like tornadoes, electromagnetism, crystals, and celestial telekinesis. Gray Matter is a 5-inch frog-like alien with extreme intellect. A mind so smart that it can generate energies that lead to accelerated synaptic activity. If there are spare parts lying around, he can turn them into machines. If there's a device he's never seen, he can just look at it and understand how it functions. If a machine is broken, he can fix it. You get the idea. He's super smart and can strategize and problem solve when punching can't solve a problem. He's more of a think-outside-the-box type alien, thanks to his intellectual and analytical prowess. But his intelligence isn't just limited to machinery. Gray Matter is smart enough to manipulate living beings by stimulating certain parts of their nervous system, if such beings can be controlled by an external stimulus. His size also works well with his intelligence, since he can actually get inside of machinery to manipulate it. His ability to climb walls and strength and durability great for his size also help with this. Gray Matter also has suction cups on his skin that help him crawl through walls, and his frog-like characteristics help him jump high and breathe underwater. But sometimes, Gray Matter's size can be used against him. Gray Matter looks like a snack or a toy to some animals, and his small size and light body make him a poor choice of an alien when physical combat is necessary. His amphibious body also makes him vulnerable to fire. Diamondhead. He's your girl's best friend. Well, technically not, since he's not actually made of diamonds. But hey, he does look kinda clean though, no cap. And he does still pick up girls. Old girls. With his vomit. Diamondhead is made of thick organic crystals that he can manipulate and shape to create his own weapons and other objects on any part of his body, but usually uses his hands and arms. He can also create large clusters of crystals from the ground, even from a distance. His crystal kinesis and enhanced dexterity also allow him to fire crystal projectiles and reshape his projectiles into limited shapes. His crystal body also lets him absorb and reflect numerous types of energy, such as light, lasers, fire, and lightning. And thanks to his crystal body, Diamondhead has enhanced durability and strength. If Diamondhead needs to fast travel, he can generate crystal slides or ramps. Diamondhead is pretty much a go-to alien if Ben needs to fight in different styles, because he can be a ranged fighter, a melee fighter, defend himself, or combine all of these fighting styles all together. This makes him one of my favorite aliens. Oh, and being made of crystals has its other perks besides picking up grandmas. It also keeps him cool in the heat and makes him undetectable through infrared vision. There's so many creative ways Diamondhead can use his powers. Some additional capabilities he has are enhanced jumping, enhanced reflexes, and crystal regeneration. But as cool as he is, there are still some not so cool things about Diamondhead. He might be strong and durable, but his crystals can crack or shatter if met with an even stronger and more durable material. And some damage from Diamondhead can't be undone, despite his crystal regeneration capabilities. Strong sonic vibrations can also render Diamondhead unconscious. The 2 shards on his back can be used as weapons, but they can also leave him stuck on surfaces he gets knocked into, and his heavy body may serve him well in some cases, but not so much in others, like in water, where he can sink. He's also vulnerable to ice and telekinesis, can form flammable crystals, and can unintentionally fire crystal shards. Upgrade. This is my favorite alien. He can shapeshift his body, going from liquid to gelatinous and vice versa. And if you like technology, you'll like it even more when Upgrade merges with it and advances it with new features. So long as you don't mind him controlling the technology and making his face appear anywhere he wants on it. But Upgrade's upgrades aren't only limited to technology. However, the moment Upgrade unmerges with an object, the item returns to its normal state. Upgrade can also mimic tech and has a vast library of semantics to draw upon. But if Upgrade doesn't want to upgrade something, he can destroy it instead and make it explode. Who cares if he splats? He can just regenerate himself. Upgrade can also jump pretty high, and since he can shapeshift, he has very good reflexes and flexibility that can help him dodge enemy attacks with little effort. And when Upgrade merges with machines, his strength also increases. However, since metal conducts electricity and Upgrade is made of a metallic substance, Upgrade is vulnerable to electricity and fire. And while preteen Upgrade has no problem merging with objects of any size, toddler Upgrade does have a problem merging with objects larger than himself. And even though Upgrade's power-ups are a great improvement to the original state of each item being upgraded, the power-ups don't bring infinite power, so Upgrade doesn't just become unstoppable when he merges with technology. He can still be affected by the limitations of the objects he upgrades. This next alien is probably the most controversial Ben 10 alien in their reboots. Stinkfly. In the reboot, Stinkfly is a big, buggy alien that can fly with his 2 insectoid wings, giving him enhanced speed, agility, and durability. He has 2 ducts inside his shoulders that he can use to shoot slime and gas. Stinkfly's liquids can either be made flammable or as an immobilizing adhesive. Stinkfly also has a strong exoskeleton that has great strength in proportion to his body. His body is also bioluminescent, and his fingers are sharp enough to pick locks. However, Stinkfly stinks sometimes, both literally and metaphorically. He can be weak against his own gas and blind against his own slime, and even though he's durable, his wings are fragile. He's also vulnerable to fire, so his flammable gases and slime can be used against him. Stinkfly is also vulnerable to electricity, even able to become unconscious if he takes too much damage from it. He is also vulnerable to ice. His stamina, durability, and strength are also limited. The reboot's take on Stinkfly wasn't horrible, but they could have just replaced him with Big Chill or something. But hey, Stinkfly has my support, even if I... Wildvine. This plant-like alien can grow and retract his body. He's got strong, stretchy limbs that he can swing around with like a vine or use for battle. He can also grow vine tentacles or whips from the 4 seeds on his back to have extra limbs to walk or swing from. Thanks to his elastic body, Wildvine has enhanced flexibility, agility, and digging. He's pretty durable to some extent, not as much as some of his other aliens, but that's okay. If a limb of his gets torn off, he can simply grow a new one, thanks to his vine regeneration. Wildvine can also grow thorns on his body and shoot them from his hands as projectiles. He can also control plants and even vomits flowers. However, one issue Wildvine has is that his vines can get tangled, and he can even get tangled up in his own vines if he isn't careful. And even though his vines are strong, they aren't indestructible. Wildvine is also vulnerable to sleeping gas. Gray Arms. He's half gray matter and half forearms. He has enhanced strength, though it's not as strong as that of forearms, and has enhanced intelligence, but it's not as good as gray matter's. He's a little bit of both. However, Gray Arm's asymmetric body makes it hard for him to function, as he has 1 strong arm and 3 weak arms, and 1 strong leg and 1 weak leg. This makes it hard for him to fight or even balance properly. You know how Grey Arms was a little bit of both gray matter and forearms? Well, Amalgam Ben is a little bit of Ben's first 10 aliens, plus his human DNA in the mix. He has Heatblast's pyrokinesis, has Overflow's hydrokinesis, has Cannonbolt's enhanced strength and durability, has Forearm's enhanced strength and durability, has XLR8's enhanced speed, has Diamondhead's crystal kinesis and energy redirection, has Upgrade's technokinesis and elasticity, has Grey Matter's enhanced intelligence, has Wildvine's chlorokinesis and regeneration, and has Stinkfly's flight. Not all of these powers were demonstrated, but many of them are implied based on the alien body parts he has. However, because of his body structure, Amalgam Ben can't balance well in the air or control his flight super well, and since he's 1/11th of 11 different species, he can't really use his powers to the fullest. This is the alien that nearly every fan wanted to see Ben turn into at some point. Gax. Gax is a really powerful alien. He has super strength, and as shown with Vilgax, Gax is super durable, able to survive in the toughest of circumstances. Gax can also turn his arms into tentacles, and each tentacle has equal strength to his entire arms as a whole, allowing him to grab, climb, dig, and swing quickly. Thanks to his arm and tentacle strength, he can walk on 2 or 4 legs. Even though he's a big guy, he can still jump high and has enhanced agility and acrobatics. He's also got really good durability and heat resistance, and can shoot lasers from his eyes. Additionally, Gax can telepathically sense parts of his DNA. However, Gax's power in turn gives him some weaknesses. He still has a limit to how much damage he can take. He's also vulnerable to electricity, and the telekinetic abilities of the High Override. I'm sure that any longtime Ben 10 fan has seen Stu Carter from Atomi TV do some crazy science experiments. But he's not the only one with a background history with evil alien armies. Here's Shockrock. He's another very powerful alien. So powerful that Ben had to train hard to figure out how to use him properly. Shockrock can release strong electrical charges from his body as weapons, and can also create objects made of electricity and shapeshift his arms into electric objects. And if he needs to fast travel, he can just make something out of electricity to do it. He can also absorb energy and turn it into his own energy, and redirect it as even greater energy. To a certain extent, Shockrock can stretch his limbs. Plus, his agility and reflexes are augmented. His electricity can power up and enhance machines, even age-old ones that would normally not be able to work. His rock armor gives him enhanced durability, and he also has enhanced strength and jumping. His electrokinesis can even be used to telekinetically move objects, create force fields, energy boxes, and manipulate the weather. Just like Diamondhead, Shockrock can have many different fighting styles due to his wide range of powers, and under the High Override's control, Shockrock's powers get boosted so much that Shockrock could be able to destroy the Earth. Nonetheless, Shockrock can inadvertently transfer energies to objects. Shockrock is also vulnerable to the High Override's control. His electric attacks are also ineffective against rubber materials, and he is vulnerable to enemies that can absorb energy. He's also got a strength and speed limit, but again, he does have fast travel options. XLRArmBlastDiamondHeat. Ben probably could have came up with another name for this alien. But anyway, this alien is a fusion of 4 of Ben's aliens. He sports XLR8 speed, Heatblast's pyrokinesis, Diamondhead's durability, strength, and crystallokinesis, and forearm strength. He also has a spiked tail mace. He's definitely one of Ben's better fusions out there. His only demonstrated weakness was that he has a durability limit, as he got knocked out by the High Override's energy beams for a short period of time. I remember the mystery that this alien brought when it was first revealed in a commercial. I used to think he was Bullfrag, or Upchuck, but he was actually Slapback. This alien can duplicate himself every time his back gets slapped, hence the name, but any force that his back hits hard enough can also do the trick. Each clone operates independently from one another, and Slapback and his clones decrease in size and increase in mass, density, and strength every time he duplicates. This means that he gets smaller, heavier, stronger, and more durable every time he clones himself. Slapback can even duplicate enough to become as dense as a black hole. That's pretty dense. In addition to these awesome powers, Slapback is heat and wind resistant and immune to lava, and can float on lava if the lava is more dense than he is. He's also pretty agile, has good reflexes, can run fast, and can jump high, even when cloned. And when he's all done using his extra set of hands, he can fuse all his clones back together with himself to form his original form. Pretty nifty. Nevertheless, Slapback has some weaknesses. Since anything that puts enough pressure on his back can duplicate him, he can't really control his duplicating powers. Slapback also isn't very flexible and can't reach the Omnitrix dial on his back, so he needs someone else to turn it for him if he wants to go Omni Kicks. And since his mass increases every time he duplicates, he can cause issues for his surroundings or himself if he clones at the wrong time or place. And since each clone operates independently, Slapback Prime doesn't have control over the other Slapbacks, so the Slapbacks can fight with each other. And although he gets heavier, stronger, and more durable when cloned, his smaller size due to cloning may make it more difficult for Slapback to fight bigger enemies if he's too small. Slapback's clones can also fuse back together unintentionally with enough force, or if the Omnitrix times out. Let's face it, there are some aliens Ben just loves using all the time, and this is one of them. Humungousaur. This giant dinosaur is big and strong. He possesses incredible strength, flexibility, agility, and digging thanks to his dinosaur-like powers. He is strong enough to create sonic claps, and his spiky tail is powerful enough to create strong shockwaves of green energy when it hits the ground. He once hit a mammoth straight into the sky, and legend has it the mammoth is still in the sky. Humungousaur is also a very durable alien because of his thick, armored skin, giving Humungousaur the capability to withstand heat. And if you think this giant dinosaur is big, he can get even bigger. Once Ben learns how to get him to alter his size, of course. Even his roar is big enough to be used as a weapon. And even though he has a big body, he can walk on 2 or 4 legs, jump high, and crawl quickly. However, despite these amazing powers, Humungousaur has demonstrated some weaknesses. Humungousaur's size makes it difficult for him to fit in constrained spaces, and it also makes him an easy target for enemy attacks. And as strong as he is, he still has a strength limit, and has trouble walking on sticky surfaces, and his tail can even be used against him as a way of weighing him down. His tail can also cause unintentional damage if he doesn't watch where it swings. His sonic attacks also don't work on soft surfaces, and his sonic attacks can be exploited and redirected back at him. Humungousaur also has a durability limit, as Bashmouth's teeth harmed his thick skin before, and he has been shown to be vulnerable to pyrokinesis. Humungousaur is also vulnerable to celestial sapien telekinesis. Do you like to lose control of your aggression, lack intelligence, and get highly aggressive? Do you like getting easily distracted by mice, and having a hard time controlling your fighting instincts? Then Rath is the alien for you. Strength and flexibility are Rath's main feats. Just like a cat, he can climb up different surfaces almost effortlessly, has enhanced dexterity and speed to walk and run on 2 feet, or on all 4s, and has enhanced reflexes to dodge enemy attacks. He also has great acrobatics, agility, and jumping, able to do all sorts of flips and hops. And when you combine this with his strength, you've got a cat who can rescue bystanders from danger and fight in numerous different fighting styles. But that's not all. Rath has some sharp claws, as well as a retractable claw on each of his hands, and this claw can slice or stab all sorts of enemies and objects. These claws are even resistant to heat, so Rath can fight fire with his claws. Not even Bashmouth's metal teeth can bite through these retractable claws. Rath also possesses excellent senses, so he can work as a tracker too. And on top of that, he can produce shockwaves and powerful roars. But in spite of that, there are some issues Rath has. As I mentioned previously, Rath is very aggressive, unintelligent, and easily distracted, which makes him hard for Ben to control. Some of the things Rath can get distracted by are meats, laser pointers, and mice. And even though Rath is strong, he is not as physically strong as Forearms. He is more acrobatic though. But similar to Forearms, Rath's immense body size makes moving in smaller spaces harder to do, and like most cats, Rath hates water. But he isn't always bothered by it. Rath is also vulnerable to the telekinetic abilities of celestial sapiens, goo, and magic. Jetray. This fast flyer can fly at supersonic speed, allowing him to also obtain enhanced reflexes and agility while flying. He can fly fast enough to generate tornadoes, and doesn't even need to flap his wings to maneuver. Jetray is also a very versatile alien, since he can breathe underwater, in the air, and in space. But Jetray's speed isn't the only thing he's got going for him. He can shoot neuroshock blasts from his eyes and his tail, and can also change his tail blasts in a way to leave a green trail when flying. He also has enhanced strength, able to carry people while flying, and enhanced durability, able to survive heavy hits. His strength carries over to his feet and tail, which are prehensile, and his tail gives him enhanced dexterity, as it could fire a laser gun with ease. However, Jetray's flight was difficult for Ben to get used to when he initially unlocked him. Certain forces such as heavy winds or sonic waves can knock Jetray back, and since he's not extremely strong, he's limited in strength and durability and can be overpowered by stronger aliens or objects if he chooses fight instead of flight. And as fast as Jetray is, he can still tire himself out when creating tornadoes. His neuroshock blasts can also be exploited as a power source, and he's vulnerable to Zombozo's hypnotic mind control. This alien brought so much hype to fans when he appeared in Ben 10 vs. the Universe. Goop. This green jelly guy is indestructible, as he can shapeshift, kind of like Upgrade. He can stretch, bend, and deform his body at will. He can also hold things inside his body, and can regenerate and rebuild himself effortlessly. In addition to this, he can breathe and survive in space. Goop has an anti-gravity projector that helps him change his shape, as well as fly and levitate. This anti-gravity projector can increase its gravitational pull, which allows it to pull Goop and anything with him towards the projector, giving him enhanced strength as well. However, Goop is limited to the control of the anti-gravity projector, so he needs it to function. He's not green, but he is a giant. Way big. Way big is pretty strong, even for his size, and can technically destroy a small planet with his power. In proportion to his size, Waybig has good reflexes and speeds. He also has very good durability, able to withstand enemy attacks while barely feeling them. And when Waybig crosses his arms together in an X shape, he can fire a powerful cosmic ray that was able to knock out a half-celestial sapien. And the red parts of his body have metallic properties, allowing Waybig to deflect energy attacks. And due to the nature of his creation, Waybig can survive in the vacuum of space. Nonetheless, Waybig's size makes it impossible to use him in buildings or other confined spaces, and Waybig is still physically weaker than opponents with sufficient strength, like Alien V, despite his enhanced strength. This alien is probably the worst alien Ben's had in the reboot. Surge. Surge is one of those no I in team type aliens. He can control other members of his species by combining with them. As he combines with more of them, he controls more of them and can create giant constructs or bodies to use in combat. And if these constructs get broken apart, Surge can combine with other members of his race and rebuild the construct or create a new one. The more Zurges there are, the stronger Surge gets. And when combined with other Zurges, Surge can fire a laser from his eye and generate force fields. But even when Surge is alone, he can at least fly and levitate, as well as dodge some enemy attacks, survive others, and get up when he's down. But really, he's much more useful as a transformation when other members of his species are present. Without other Zurges, he can't fight. He was literally designed to work together with his species. The only weaknesses he possesses when combined is getting overtaken by other dominant Zurges that come into contact with him. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share, and check out some more of my videos. Don't forget to put your faith in Christ. God bless.